So this time we're taking another look at a Masters of the Universe Classics from Mattel, the MattyCollector.com online exclusive line, and that is Beastman. And Beastman was one of the figures that I owned as a kid, the original figures from the 80s. And I think this is a really, really great reimagining of the figure. Very nice paint scheme and sculpt. You got the orange, blue, and white on his face there. A nice, very nice sculpting in the fur on his arms and hands and legs, and even his chest area. You can see there his wonderfully painted armor. The original figure was kind of bland because it was all the same color. Here you get the horn spikes here are a very nice color, and you can see the details molded in there of cracks and dings of the horns or teeth or whatever he used to make his armor. Gives it just a little bit more oomph. I believe this was originally offered in 2008. He was one of the earliest figures, I think. It's kind of cool to see the classic figures in high detail, high posability. And take a look at the back of his card here. You can see other figures that are available, as well as a write-up of his name and his backstory. See, that's the thing with with me and Masters of the Universe. Always liked that the figures pretty much spoke for themselves. You got an idea of their powers and you know, their gimmicks and everything, or just from their names, like Beastman. You know that he controls beasts. It was very clear, and that's why I liked the line. However, I did tend to gravitate more towards G.I. Joe and Transformers, which sort of had a more involved backstory, which is what I liked about them. He only has one accessory, the whip, and unfortunately it's kind of, well, it's both good and bad that it's molded into this single position. Now, I might have liked a posable one or semi-posable if they could have done that. You can see this is pretty detailed. It's got a you see the leather thong wrapped detail here, where it goes to one piece at the end. I kind of like that. Going back to the original toys, accessory has this little additional plastic piece to help keep the accessory in the figure's hand. And he does hold it very tightly, as you can see. Getting it in there, you gotta kind of force his fingers out. This is the reissued version. That's okay. There is some issue, mainly with the looseness of his legs here, but it seems like that's not too bad. I think some people have reviewed him and said that's really loose, but mine seems to be pretty good. He's got pretty much the standard Masters of the Universe articulation. He's got really nice head articulation there. Goes pretty far, although looks kind of silly with his chin jutting all the way out there. It goes left and right. He can do a full 360. I'm not going to do it. Arms do go all the way around. Armor does hinder it just a little bit. He spins at the bicep, bends at the elbow, rotates at the wrist. Some very nice ab articulation as well as waist articulation. His legs go back and forward, out to the side, and he rotates at the upper thigh here, bends at the knee, bends at the ankle. He has a very good ankle pivot there to help when get him in poses, wide stance poses. His armor pieces do come off. You gotta take his head off to remove this piece. These things will just slide off his arms. You can slide them off his arms like that and slide them back on. Being that he's Skeletor's most loyal henchman, I think he's a real must-have if you're into the Masters of the Universe classics. Just be aware if you do pick up the second release of him, he does have that tendency to be loose in the legs. So you might have a little bit more trouble posing, having him keep a pose, as opposed to the original figure, which will probably cost you a little bit more than the re-release. So the one bad thing about the figure is the whip. It's just in that one static position, and it doesn't lend itself to very many poses, which is unfortunate because I think he's deserving of so much more. So that'll be it for the Masters of the Universe Classics Beastman.